101.7 where new music lives. Here's the latest from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Getaway.
That's right, you're right. We will do our thing tonight, alright. Take me through the future. It's time, you'll find just another color-coded crime. Incision and a suture. You told my friend we would get it on no matter when. A super cavitation. Let's go. You show me something no one will ever know. A love hallucination. Another lonely superstar to get away inside your car. Taking much too far. Surrender to the brave inside a lover that another tried. Take it to my ride. You don't have to keep it if it's mine. Superstar to get away inside your car. Another place maybe.
YTN Morning News Update on 103.7 WTIB and 94.1 WNBU.
Good morning with your WITN News Update. I'm Heather King. Downtown Charlotte is calming down this morning after a peaceful prayer vigil turned into a violent protest over the fatal police shooting of a black man. Hotel and restaurant employees and security guards have started cleaning up dozens of broken windows, but the city isn't entirely back to normal. Bank of America told its thousands of employees at its 60-story downtown skyscraper to stay home today. One man was critically injured in Wednesday's protest. City officials say police did not fire on the victim. Several reporters and people on the street were attacked as police in riot gear linked arms, marched down streets, and fired tear gas. 4 police officers were injured during these protests. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory has declared a state of emergency and promised to bring in the National Guard. Flood-fueled misery in parts of the east this morning after days of heavy rain led to a river in major flood stage. The National Weather Service says the Kashai River in Bertie County crested at 14.5 feet early this morning. It's expected to stay above flood stage until tomorrow afternoon. The river jumped 7 feet in 7 hours Wednesday. Windsor Police Chief James Lane tells WITN's Lauren Smith a 10-block area of downtown Windsor is currently flooding. Fire officials escorted a woman from her home early this morning since her property was surrounded by water. Chief Lane says that's the first person who called for a rescue from their home. He is asking people to avoid the downtown area of Windsor, including people who might want to sightsee. He had specific instructions for people working at the prison. They should use US 17 bypass to the Wake Lawn Road exit to get to work. According to the DOT, US 17 north of Windsor shut down in both directions. Parts of Highway 45 and 42 in Bertie County are closed, along with other local roads. 4 juveniles escaped from their facility overnight. Authorities say they got out after assaulting a staffer at the facility in Rocky Mount. The Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice says Dakota from Guilford County, Joshua from Wake County, Justin from Carteret County, and Juan from New Hanover County all escaped around 9:30 last night. Division officials say the juveniles ran from the Edgecombe Youth Development Center in Rocky Mount following an assault on a staff member. They also say they have a high concern for the safety of both the juveniles and the public due to unpredictable behavior. You can find pictures of the escapees at WITN.com. A 5th day of testimony ahead today as prosecutors continue presenting their case against Willie Whitehead Jr., the second suspect to go on trial for the triple murder at the Farmville Hustle Mart in 2012. His former girlfriend, Ashley Johnson, testified Wednesday, admitting helping him buy ammunition, but said at the time she had no idea where he was on the night of the murders. Johnson testified that when she was first interviewed by detectives, she lied and told them she was with Whitehead on the night of April 1st. The woman said she lied because Whitehead told her to, and she was scared after convicted killer now, Antoine Anthony, had allegedly made threats. The trial continues today with more of the state's evidence. Those are your WITN News headlines. I'm Heather King.
Stay mostly cloudy for your Thursday with a few showers around, highs in the lower 80s, rain chance about 60% for tonight, mostly cloudy and damp with a few lingering showers, lows in the upper 70s. Rain chance 40% for tonight. For your Friday, mostly cloudy skies early with clouds thinning late. Scattered showers possible in the afternoon with highs in the lower 80s. Rain chance around 30% for tomorrow. Lows tomorrow night around 70 degrees. Right now, 73 in Greenville, 73 in New Bern. Talk of the Town Thursday, September 22nd, 2016 on 103.7 WTIB and 94.1 WNBU.
Brand new Camry SEs, $199 a month during Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Camry SEs only $199 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Every wireless provider has towers in the city, but US Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't. So you can video chat at your secret fishing spot or stream way out here. Because US Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. US Cellular, a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Visit Real Wireless, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent in Ahoskie, Williamston, and Windsor for the best deals in wireless and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
My prescription refills.
My son's shot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents' care.
My chart.
Vidant MyChart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
Come out to the 2016 Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair at the Pitt County Fairgrounds from September 20th through the 25th. Join us for exciting games, rides, food, plus exhibits with livestock, produce, crafts, and so much more. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit us online at www.pittfair.org. We'll see you at the Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair from September 20th through the 25th.
There's a new car dealership in Washington, and you've got to see the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram located on Highway 264. I'm Matthew Sessons, General Manager at the new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're proud to provide Eastern North Carolina with a state-of-the-art facility, a huge selection of new cars and trucks, and a reliable service department. For the best selection and service, stop in to see us for Ram Power Days at the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Highway 264 and visit WashingtonChrysler.com.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he switched that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
$159 a month for new Corollas. It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Drive new Corollas only $159 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Waking up never sounded so good.
Bear us your medical mumbo-jumbo.
Hello! Welcome into Talk of the Town with Henry Hinton.
Oh, my.
News, weather, sports, and of course, all the local info you need to start your day.
Is that a real show?
No, it's somebody's making a joke. Forget it.
Talk of the Town on 103.7 WTIB, 94.1 WNBU, Cable 7 in Greenville. And now, listen or watch live at WTIBFM.com. Brought to you by Massey Toyota in Kinston. Experience the Massey difference at 1-800-NEW-MASSEY and MasseyToyota.com.
Everybody still awake? All right, big finish.
Now, here's your host for Talk of the Town, Henry Hinton.
All right, welcome in. 12 minutes after 7. There is some good news. It's not raining. That's the good news. There's not much other good news this morning, but we'll try to be peppy and fun and get you through Thursday morning. 12 minutes after 7 o'clock here on Thursday, September 22nd. God bless our friends in Bertie and Chowan County. I called and checked on my mom yesterday. The rains down there, 12 inches. I just heard Heather say that the Kashai River in Windsor rose 7 feet in 7 hours. I've never heard of such a thing.
It is. It's unheard of.
There was a
saw a video of docks in Edenton, places in Chowan County. It was unbelievable.
Well, an entire road collapsed in right off of the Chowan River, an area called Tenchtown, which I'm familiar with from my childhood and teen years. Down in the Rocky Hawk area. road just collapsed. There's just so much rain down around
huge
the
hole.
Arrowhead Beach area. I saw there's like almost 11 inches of rain at Arrowhead Beach on Chowan River, and 12 and a half inches of rain in Windsor, in Coleraine area. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Man. And I guess the good news is that the chance of rain is lower today, but we could still get some rain. We still could get some heavy rainfall later today, unfortunately. Cloudy and 81. And then tonight, cloudy and 67. We're down to 20% chance of rain tonight. Pitt County Fair had to shut down yesterday. No need to open last night. And I just feel terrible for them. So people get out there and support the fair starting today. They open at 3 o'clock today. Put on some shoes that you don't mind getting soggy and go out and support the Pitt County Fair today. And then Friday, excuse me, cloudy and a high of 84. And the chance of rain is way down tomorrow, 30%. And then Saturday, sunny and 87. The weekend looks fantastic, actually. Sunshine at 87 on Saturday. And then I heard Heather say this morning on WITN that Sunday was going to be like the
79 degrees for the high.
All-time great fall Sunday afternoon kind of day.
In fact, it starts a trend of about 3 or 4 days with highs only in the upper 70s.
Yeah. Well, today's the first day of autumn, so there you go.
That's it.
Right on time.
That's it.
The Charlotte situation is ridiculous. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And you know what? Hillary Clinton should – God, I'm so mad at her. She's so bad. She is so bad. She is not – you could say what you want to say about Donald Trump, and I've got my issues with Trump, but Hillary Clinton is not – qualified and not fit to be president of the United States. She comes out yesterday without knowing any of the facts, and here's what she said yesterday. Another unarmed black man shot in a police incident. This should be intolerable. We have so much work to do. Then she calls the guy's name in another tweet, Keith Lamont Scott. She also calls the name of the Tulsa victim, Terrence Crutcher. Too many others. This has got to end. So now, here's what you have. You got a presidential candidate who just days ago said that Donald Trump had jumped to conclusions after the bombings in New York and New Jersey. Remember that? She comes out and says, well, let's not jump to conclusions. Donald Trump is already out there saying it's terrorism. We don't know that yet. So here's the thing. Islamic radical terrorists get the benefit of the doubt. Charlotte police don't. Is that not the right? Am I lying about that? Is that not what's happened here? She gives the Islamic radical terrorist that tried to blow up people and kill people in New York, they get the benefit of the doubt. Well, we don't know yet. The facts aren't in. Let's not jump to conclusions. Donald Trump's out there saying it's terrorism. I'm not so sure. But Hillary Clinton comes out immediately and says the Charlotte police have killed an unarmed black man, which, of course, just like all the other lies that have created this Black Lives Matter movement, Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Maryland, lies. Hands up, don't shoot. Turns out to be a lie. Freddie Gray murdered by police officers in the back of the police van. Lie. And guess what? This guy in Charlotte, unarmed, lie. WBTV television in Charlotte has now, the police have not released any video yet, which I find very strange. I find very strange that they haven't released, because there is dash cam video and apparently there's body cam video of one of the other police officers, not the officer that fired the shot.
They're still reviewing the video themselves.
Release it. Get it out there. Show that the guy had a gun. WBTV television, Channel 3, published a photograph last night that showed a gun on the ground next to this guy's body. Now, you'll have people say, oh, the police planted the gun. Here's what, somebody explain this to me. Somebody explain this to me. Black Lives Matter believes what? That there is a coordinated effort on the part of police departments across the country to kill black men. That's it. And so and part of this plot includes talking people like this police officer in Charlotte yesterday who's a black man into shooting another black guy. So he's part of the plot. This guy's part of the national plot to kill black men.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, that's you would have to believe that if you believe all the people that went down tried to burn down Charlotte last night. And now another man shot in the crowd last night in downtown Charlotte. If you hadn't heard that, these protests went on forever last night in Charlotte.
A lot of places vandalized. I mean, the Hall of Fame
and
restaurants.
Something like seven Charlotte Mecklenburg police officers injured, taken to the hospital. And this guy who was shot was originally reported to be dead. Now, one report I saw this morning said he was on life support at the hospital. I did hear another report this morning. I was in the Greasy Spoon this morning, and one of the TV stations here in this area was reporting that he was dead, but it's the TV station that always gets it wrong. So most of the Charlotte media, I believe, are reporting this guy's on life support right now, right?
Yep.
There was a report last night that there was one dead because Fox News reported him dead. But I don't think he's ever really been confirmed dead. Now, have you seen what's happening with the reports of what happened to him? There are now people saying that he was randomly shot by the police in Charlotte last night.
Yeah. Well, they came out and confirmed they did not fire the shots.
The Charlotte police chief says we didn't fire a weapon. There was no weapon fired by a police officer, that this was a citizen-on-citizen crime. But there's a black minister in Charlotte who's saying, oh, no, I was standing next to the guy, and it was a police officer who shot him. How can we get beyond this if people like Hillary Clinton don't want to? It's just like the whole thing that took place in Charlotte yesterday or Monday night, where the Charlotte City Council doesn't want to get beyond the problem of the transgender bathroom ordinance. They don't want to get beyond it because they want to use it for political gain. And so here you have Hillary Clinton using this black police officer in Charlotte who had a gun pointed at him for her political gain. I'm just so irritated by that this morning. I hate everything that happened in Charlotte. I hate everything, the way the whole thing was handled. I think it's awful. People don't want the truth. They just want to further this myth that policemen are out shooting shooting black men. Now, I got to say, I said this yesterday, the video from the Tulsa incident, that's a different story. That looks, you know what that looks like to me? That looks like a police officer who panicked.
Yeah, whoever reacted.
That's what it looks like. 561-8255, 561-TALK. Randy is on the phone in New Bern this morning. Morning, Randy.
Hey, good morning, Henry. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I was looking at news last night and stuff. I mean, and you got a video of a guy throwing a chair through the window of a business and all the other ransacking that's going on. Those people ought to be in jail today. And, the law ought to matter. And I find it incredibly ironic. Like you said, the major issues where there have been these major catalysts, even from George Zimmerman on, when you study, when the case information actually comes out, you find out that those were justifiable defensive actions. But you mentioned the issue in Tulsa, and you got the issue in South Carolina. When the police officer have been found to be negligent, you don't find the white community or any other community out there protesting the fact that the police officer was brought to trial or brought up on charges. And there aren't protests when, white people are shot. So there's something at a deeper core that's the problem here, not just people being shot. And it goes like you're saying, it's just it's actually almost like race baiting to get a war. When the situation happened in Florida with George Zimmerman, Obama could have gotten involved, and instead of getting involved at a distance and saying, well, we're going to make sure, like the Attorney General, we're going to get you justice type of statement, he could have gotten involved and said, let's wait for the truth or the facts to be borne out. Everybody stay calm, and if necessary, there will be federal oversight, which I'm not crazy about them jumping in, but leave it alone, let it run its course. And he could have gotten in as a stabilizing force, but that didn't happen from the beginning. And then the wheels just get going. And then, of course, you get this idea, as you're saying, that they think that the law enforcement's just out hunting. That's
there
cannot be right at all. And
there have been some terrible things that have happened. There have been some terrible things that have happened, and police have made some mistakes.
And the community generally stands up and says, hold those people accountable. So
yes.
the whole message,
this Black Lives Matter thing has been born of a myth.
Right.
It's been born of a myth.
A desire to create anxiety.
It's in the same vein of the stuff that we've seen over the years from people like Al Sharpton
and Willie Barber
and Jesse Jackson, shaking people down, intimidating people, bullying
people. If these people were to read what Booker T. Washington wrote in 1905 about race baiters, he said that they're out there and they don't want the patient, i.e. the misfortunes that happened to blacks in history. Not that slavery is an American idea, but anyway, he looked back at that and he said, yeah, that was horrible, but there are people who deal in the business of race anxiety, and they don't want the patient to get well because they're invested in it. And he wrote that in 1905 as a former slave.
Right,
and,
right. It's a cottage industry. It's made Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton rich men.
Amen. And somewhere along the line, we got to get law back in place. And this is never going to get fixed by throwing a chair through somebody else's window.
Well, it's also not going to get fixed by people like Hillary Clinton. Thank you, Randy.
Amen.
Appreciate it. Tom Lamprecht just texted me and said, on Monday, Hillary Clinton told Steve Hardy that if black people vote for her, she will stop the police shootings. Unconscionable. She'll stop the police shootings, meaning that she believes, she doesn't in her heart, she knows that but listen to what she's saying. This is somebody who wants to be president of the United States, confirming her beliefs and pandering to the black community, saying, yes, I agree with you. We've got these white police officers out there killing black men. This is Hillary Clinton. And again, Sunday, Trump comes out and says, well, we got, once again, we got a terrorist bombing in New York. We got to get tough on these people. Got to get tough. Got to deal with these people. Got to get them before they come in the country. And she's on her airplane doing her little press conference. She looked like she was still stoned from Ambien or something. And she's up and saying, well, I think it's terrible that Donald Trump is using this terrorist. We do not know that yet, yada, yada, yada. So, again, is the Islamic radical terrorist get the benefit of the doubt by Hillary Clinton. This Charlotte police officer, a black police officer in Charlotte who had a gun pointed at him, doesn't get her benefit of the doubt. Facts is facts, folks. There it is. 561-8255. Leon, our buddy Leon from here in Greenville. Morning, Leon. I bet you're fired up this morning.
No, not really, Henry. This is just the sign of the times. The Bible says this, and in this election season, Henry, we know that we're going to have people like Hillary Clinton that are going to come out and, as you say, pander to the black community to get the vote. But any black person who has an ounce of intelligence will realize what she is doing, and they will, really think about where they're going to cast their votes. The problem with the black community is, at the core of the matter, is you mentioned the two men, Jesse Jackson and the Reverend, I'm not going to call him that, Mr. Al Sharpton, who used the black community for their own personal gain. And rather than help the black people come up and understand that we live in a land of laws, and then the laws have to be followed. They helped enslave the black people and put us further back. We all have to come together and understand that in these days and times, we need more and more to ask the Lord to help us in our situations, or else this country is going to go down. And if they can create chaos through the election time, it can be very, very difficult to get anyone in there that means this country any good.
Leon, you're a good friend, and people who may have heard you call him before. You're a black man that lives here in Greenville. You're in your what? Your 80s?
No, not yet, Henry. I hope so.
Yeah. So what are you in your 70s?
I'm 74.
74. Okay. So I didn't mean to age you there, buddy. Sorry.
No,
but what my point was going to be this: you've seen real racism in your life.
Oh yes.
You've seen real racism in your life because let's face it, this country has a nasty history.
Yes.
and Dr. Martin Luther King made a huge positive turn in this country that most people in 2016 look back on the way things were in this country in the 50s and 60s. And, most of us are embarrassed by that. And we also look back on that and say, okay, the country was evolving. People's thoughts on race were evolving. You go all the way back to, slavery, and then you come back through the times that, you've lived through, the 50s and the 60s. I've lived through them too. And, you know that there was real racism out there. But we've made so much progress. I mean, have we not made so much progress in this country? And I don't understand why there are people who are determined to take us back there. And again, if when there's something wrong, people should call it out. But this whole Black Lives Matter thing is born of a lie.
And Henry, you have to realize something, please, sir. You have to realize something. The Bible is right, and somebody is wrong. I come up, thank the Lord, I'm a Christian gentleman, and I thank God for that. I look at things as they are. I weigh the things before I try to make a decision on anything. But because we're living in these days and times, we're living in a wicked world.
Yep.
We have wickedness in high places. The Bible says there is spiritual wickedness in high places. And if your president of the United States of America is doing things that are not biblically sound, this is what it breeds.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Henry, you go to church. Henry, you hear your preacher telling us all the time, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray. He said, if my people, he's talking about the people of God, would humble themselves and pray, then he would hear from heaven, heal the land. But we got to turn from our wicked ways.
You got it.
Thank you, Henry.
No one could have said it better. Thank you, Leon.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
561-8255. People need to listen to Leon. Katie is in Grifton. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
Is the river flooding Grifton this morning? I hope not.
I haven't got that far.
Okay. What's on your mind?
The only thing I wanted to say was there's an old saying, follow the money. Where did this movement get funded? It's national in a matter of a couple months. And where is the funding coming from? Y'all have great teams. Maybe some investigation would help all of us understand the philosophical background of this group.
I don't really, it's an interesting point. I don't know really where the money is coming from. Where is it coming from?
How are they funded nationally?
I don't even know that money. I could be wrong about this. I don't even know if money's the issue. You know what the problem is? Social media. I was thinking about this last night. That whole thing in Charlotte has been It's been a social media phenomenon because you have this daughter of this guy who got on social media and started saying the police shot my father. He didn't have a gun. He was reading a book. Well, again, I say to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police, produce the video, show it. I mean, they need to show the video. I believe everything the police chief said yesterday. I believe him. You got a black police chief, you got a black police officer who shot a black man, and this is racism somehow. How is this racism? Somebody needs to explain to me how this is racism. I don't get it. It's a black police officer shooting a black man who he said pointed a gun at him. And let me tell you something. You point a gun at a police officer, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. Police officer can't wait to find out whether you're serious or not when you point that gun. You pull that gun up and point it at a police officer, you're going to get one right in the chest. And you know what? That's the only way the police can deal with a guy like that. You can't deal with him any other way. And so, social media, this young lady gets on social media, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere yesterday. Police killed my daddy. He didn't have a gun. Again, Ferguson all over again. It's a lie. He had a gun. We saw the gun. Go to the WBTV.com website, the channel CBS affiliate down in Charlotte. They have a photograph now on their website of the gun. It's the only place I've seen the gun. Heather, have you seen the gun anywhere else?
Everyone sources it back to WBTV.
So WBTV got the photo.
They got the photo.
And they published it. I saw it like 5 a.m. this morning. I went on the WBTV website to see what was going on in Charlotte, and there it was. They had a photograph of the gun next to the guy's body. Now, there were witnesses that saw it. I mean, there's even a witness in Charlotte that said, no, I saw the whole thing, and he didn't have a gun. So where'd the gun come from? Or, the next story is going to be that the police planted the gun.
I agree with what you're saying 100%, but I also believe that historically some of our terrorist-type groups have had funding from sources that have helped destabilize
You might be right.
this country.
You might be right.
I grew up.
You think the Black Lives Matter thing is part of a bigger movement to create political chaos?
I know that sounds bizarre, but I also know that I grew up during the 60s on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I lived through the Watts riots. I lived through all of those things.
Yeah.
And the Weathermen, and we know that the Black Power movement, we know now that some of those organizations did have funding.
Here's why I question whether this time that's happening. I think this really hurts Hillary Clinton. I don't think it helps her. I mean, I don't think that, unless her strategy really is what she said to Steve Harvey this week, which is create more chaos, and then tell the black community, hey, you better come out and vote for me because I'm going to take care of these rogue police officers. That's a stretch to me. I think that she's so liberal and she's so desperate now for votes that she is pandering to the black community with these tweets yesterday where she accused the Charlotte police before she knew any of the facts. I mean, she put that tweet out like she was a member of Black Lives Matter.
Oh, that's been her pattern. That's been her pattern throughout her life.
Yeah.
To immediately jerk responses that have no
she accused Donald Trump of doing just that on Sunday when it came to a terrorist bombing in New York City. I mean,
we all remember the tapes that, the tapes that sparked the Benghazi thing. She's making comments before we even find out what happened, and then. So I think that's her pattern that way.
Yeah.
But I think there's other organizations that would willingly disrupt
Well, you might be right.
anything in our country.
You might be right. I mean, look, I don't discount anything at this point. Thank you, Katie. All right, we'll do one more, and then we got to move on. Terry is in Greenville. Good morning, Terry.
Hey, how you doing, Henry?
Okay.
Say, you're not going to be too thrilled with this article in the Raleigh paper, but there's a comment made now that he had a right to have that gun through the laws, the laws in the state of North Carolina, which just is another indication that we've got some serious problems with our laws as it relates to the police and the criminals.
Well, that's another issue. I agree. I mean, that could be something that sparks more debate about that. But I don't care how he got the gun, whether he had it legally or not. If he pointed at the police officer, he's going to get shot.
Well, I know that. The other point that I really want to make is having the Justice Department look into these city police departments is absolutely stupid.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, we already know what Loretta Lynch's political and mantra is.
Yeah, the state should have a department that does that goes around to these cities and reviews their policies and procedures. And if the Justice Department wants to get involved, which I don't think they should be going to the state and a particular department at the state whose job it is to monitor the police. And that's all I have to say.
Well, unfortunately, that would probably be the job of Roy Cooper, and as we know, Roy Cooper doesn't do his job.
Well, that's another problem, which is putting an individual into a position that is not of the same party as the government.
All right. Thank you. You know, Terry makes a good point. Think about this. Hillary Clinton gets elected president. Loretta Lynch remains attorney general. These are the people in charge of investigating the Charlotte Police Department on this? I mean, you can't do it. You got to recuse yourself after you've come out and already convicted the police officer in the Charlotte Police Department. Hillary Clinton is awful. She's worse than awful. You got this debate coming up on Monday night, and I'll tell you, Donald Trump I have to say that his new campaign manager, I believe, has made a huge difference in his campaign. New polls out this morning showing Donald Trump winning Ohio, winning North Carolina, and probably winning Florida. Let me tell you, if he wins Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida, he's going to win. He's going to win. And I was begging months ago for Trump to shut his mouth and stay on message, and he's done it. He's pretty much done it.
Oh, he's been a different Trump.
And you've got to hand it to his his new campaign manager. And so, doesn't mean I think he'd be the greatest president in the world. But I'll tell you, people, if you're on the fence, look at the actions. If you're an independent voter and you have not decided yet, you have to look at how Hillary Clinton behaved yesterday. You have to look. That alone disqualifies her to be president of the United States, in my view.
First debate Monday night.
That's either going to be the beginning or the end of Donald Trump having a chance to win. I don't know whether I don't know how Trump will behave in that environment. I am sure that Hillary Clinton will be awful. It comes down, in my opinion, to how Donald Trump behaves in that environment. And if he can come off looking presidential and come on with facts and less rhetoric and point out how awful she is to the American people without, being overbearing and ridiculous in some of his rhetoric, he's going to win. I didn't think it could happen. He's going to win the presidency. And God knows I'm praying for it. I mean, I can't live. I just cannot imagine what this country will be with Hillary Clinton as president, with all this going on. And this is her reaction yesterday. That just, it made my blood pressure go at the top of my head when I read that. I couldn't believe she was accusing the Charlotte police of murder without any facts. 7:43. All right, I'm calming down now. Good morning, Heather.
Hi, Henry.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was watching your coverage this morning. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
And we'll get to Heather in just a minute. But first, let's check a few sports headlines. Trent McGee is here. We're moving toward the weekend at a big football game in Blacksburg, Virginia. Here's McGee on sports.
Yeah, the Pirates and the Hokies kick things off at 12:30 on Saturday from Lane Stadium. The Pirates trying to win for the fourth time all time. They're in Blacksburg again. Kickoff set for 12:30 from Blacksburg, Virginia, with the Pirates and the Hokies. Football on all levels tonight. College football in the ACC. Number 5, Clemson visits Georgia Tech. The home team has won this matchup in each of the last 7 meetings. Kickoff set for 7:30 from Bobby Dodd Stadium. In the NFL tonight, 2-0 Patriots host the 2-0 Texans. Former NC State quarterback Jacoby Brissett will get the start for New England. Kickoff from Gillette Stadium set for 8:25. And high school football action tonight here on 103.7. Washington looks for its first win of the season when the Pan Pac host 3-2 Kinston. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock, followed by kickoff at 7:30 with Josh Graham.
When is that?
Tonight.
No, it's been moved.
Oh, see,
I think it's been moved.
My mistake.
Did we have that this morning? For some reason, I think that game's been moved to Monday night, hasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think with all the rains and everything.
You know what? Forget everything I just said.
No Washington High School tonight.
Not happening tonight.
Forget it.
No high school football game. I was just, I don't know where that came from.
We'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure I heard yesterday that game's been moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. 7:45. Let's get a break in. We're coming back. More talk of the town on the way. It is Thursday morning, September 22nd. Heather King with news headlines coming up, and we'll lighten things up a little bit. We do have a laugh track, and we're going to play Genius Quiz this morning too. Stay with us.
Brand new Camry SEs, $199 a month during Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Camry SEs only $199 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
My prescription refills.
My son shot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he swished that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
My prescription refills.
My son shot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
$159 a month for new Corollas. It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here, and the 16s must go. Drive new Corollas only $159 a month. Plus, get our advantage.
This is your WITN Morning News Update on 103.7 WTIB and 94.1 WNBU.
Good morning, everyone, with your WITN News Update at 7:48. I'm Heather King. Downtown Charlotte calming down this morning after a peaceful prayer vigil turned into a violent protest over the fatal police shooting of a black man. Hotel and restaurant employees and security guards were seen on the streets this morning cleaning up dozens of broken windows. City's not entirely back to normal today either. Bank of America told its thousands of employees at its 60-story downtown skyscraper to stay home today. One man was critically injured in Wednesday's protest. City officials say police did not fire on that victim. Several reporters and people on the street were attacked as police in riot gear linked arms, marched down streets, and fired tear gas. 4 police officers were injured during the protest last night. Governor Pat McCrory declared a state of emergency and promised to bring in the National Guard to Charlotte. Flood-fueled misery in parts of the east this morning after days of heavy rain led to a river in major flood stage now. The National Weather Service says the Kashai River crested at 14.5 feet early this morning. It's expected to stay above flood stage until tomorrow afternoon. The Kashai River jumped about 7 feet over 7 hours Wednesday afternoon. Windsor Police Chief James Lane tells WITN's Lauren Smith that a 10-block area of downtown Windsor is currently flooding this morning. Fire officials escorted a woman from her home early this morning in Windsor since her property was surrounded by water. Chief Lane says that's the first person who called for a rescue. Chief Lane is also asking people who might want to sightsee the downtown area of Windsor to please stay away. US 17 north of Windsor is shut down in both directions because of flooding. Parts of highways 45 and 42 are also closed, along with other local roads in Bertie County. 4 juveniles escaped from their facility overnight. Authorities say they got out after assaulting a staffer at the center in Rocky Mount. The Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice says Dakota from Guilford County, Joshua from Wake County, Justin from Carteret County, and Juan from New Hanover County all escaped around 9:30 last night. Officials say the juveniles ran from the Edgecombe Youth Development Center in Rocky Mount following an assault on a staff member. They say they have a high concern for the safety of both the juveniles and the public because of unpredictable behavior. You can find pictures of the escapees at WITN.com. A 5th day of testimony ahead today as prosecutors continue presenting their case against Willie Whitehead Jr., the second suspect to go on trial for the triple murder at the Farmville Hustle Mart in 2012. Whitehead's former girlfriend, Ashley Johnson, testified Wednesday, admitting to helping him buy ammunition, but said at the time she had no idea where he was the night of the triple murder. Johnson testified that when she was first interviewed by police, she lied and told them she was with Whitehead the night of April 1st. The woman said she lied because Whitehead told her to do so, and she was scared after now convicted killer Antoine Anthony allegedly made threats. The trial continues today with more of the state's evidence. Those are your WITN News headlines. I'm Heather King.
Well, we still, unfortunately, could see some heavy rainfall today. We are hoping not, but could happen. Otherwise, cloudy and 81, about a 60% chance of it. Tonight, cloudy and 67 and a 20% chance of rain. So tonight is the night to get your kids together and go to the Pitt County Fair. I feel bad. I just can't believe the fair is having to deal with this again for the second year in a row. Rained the whole week last year. So get out there and support them. Cloudy at 84 tomorrow, and the weekend looks great. 87 on Saturday, and sunshine and 78 on Sunday. Welcome to the first day of fall. News and weather. That's today, by the way, first day of fall, September 22. The news and weather, a service this morning of our friends at Children's World Learning Centers in Greenville. I've talked so much about the new location on Arlington Boulevard, Children's World Learning Center and Academy. Let me focus in on one of the other locations, which is the Johns Hopkins Drive location of Children's World, because that was my first experience with Children's World, because my younger grandson was there, and it was a great experience. He's not there anymore, but early on he was there, and they did a great job with him. He loved this. Every time I'd go in, I'd go pick him up, and he would be hugging his teachers goodbye, which shows you what kind of job that they were doing with him. And it's very, very close to the Vidant Medical Center, Brody School of Medicine. So if you want a tour, you can call and set it up, 215-9032, Tour Children's World on Johns Hopkins Drive. They are now accepting application for students from birth to pre-K. Also, the other locations we've been talking about so much, the Children's World Learning Center and Academy on Arlington Boulevard, which is the new state-of-the-art for that part of town. Also, Children's World Greenville Boulevard. And then there's a Child's Place on Moy Drive, which is also great for Vidant employees. So there you go, 7:53. We're going to play Genius Quiz at some point. I haven't figured out when yet because we got on a roll this morning talking about Charlotte.
Got going, yep.
I've got a bunch of social media contact here. Let me see if I can get to some of that. Number one, the sheriff of Carteret County, Sheriff Asa Buck, says to me, policing is a local matter. We all operate according to the standards, the law, case law, etc. And the SBI investigates officer shootings in North Carolina. True that. But I saw last night, though, that the federal Justice Department is saying that they are going to investigate some of the. They certainly came in and investigated Ferguson. And they're going to. You can believe Obama and Loretta Lynch are going to try to get their fingerprints on this thing. You can believe that in Charlotte. Louisa, one of our listeners, has sent me a story about a South Alabama student who was recently shot and killed by a campus police officer at the University of South Alabama. This just happened recently. He was 18 years old, and he was shot by a police officer. At the time of the incident, the student was under the influence of LSD and exhibiting erratic behavior, and he was actually creating problems near the campus police station. So when they approached him, they couldn't contain him. A lot of questions about whether he should have been shot and killed, but he was. His name was Gil Collar, and this was a college student at the University of South Alabama. Have you heard anything about it? First time you heard it?
Yes.
He was white, and he was shot by a black police officer. Let's go to break. 7:55. I mean, that, folks, facts is facts. You know, we get upset about all this stuff anytime there's a black person shot by a police officer. This is what we have now in this country. But here you have an 18-year-old white kid shot by a campus police officer, very much in question. Kid was unarmed. Haven't seen one thing about it in the national news. Not one. We'll be back.
It's a great time to be here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Come celebrate this fall with the new Jeep. Jeep is America's hottest brand. Come check out the largest selection in Eastern North Carolina. It's the Jeep Celebration event. Buy now and get 20% off MSRP on a new Jeep Cherokee. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Come see us! Across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
To see the huge inventory online, visit ecauto.com.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he swished that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
Every wireless provider has towers in the city, but US Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't. So you can video chat at your secret fishing spot or stream way out here. Because US Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. US Cellular, a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Visit Real Wireless, your local US Cellular authorized agent in Ahoskie, Williamston, and Windsor for the best deals in wireless and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
Been thinking about buying a new truck this year? It's the Ram Power Days here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. You got to come see our selection of Ram trucks. We've got over 100 in stock, the absolute best selection in Eastern North Carolina. Buy a new Ram now and get 20% off MSRP. Better hurry. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Come see us! Across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
To see the huge inventory online, visit ecauto.com.
My prescription refills.
My sunshot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents' care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and workweek daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
All right, got a minute in front of 8 o'clock. Time for the laugh track this morning. Talk of the Town laugh track. Our comedian is Brendan Iyer.
My car broke down. That was a bummer. The mechanic called me and he said, "Your radiator's shot. What do you want to do?" I said, "I probably want to get a second opinion from someone who knows how to pronounce radiator." So I was thinking, I don't know, did you check the spork plugs? What about the transmission? He said, radiator. He's a professional. That'd be like if you went to the doctor and he was like, "Ugh, we got to get you checked out for colon cancer."
Brendan Iyer on the laugh track this morning. All right, 8 o'clock. Got North Carolina News Network coming up next. We'll be back at 8 o'clock, about 8:05 actually. See you then.
trying to take my life and all my loving too. You laid a pathway for me. Now what are you trying to do when I'm crying?
Brand new Camry SEs, $199 a month during Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Camry SEs only $199 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Every wireless provider has towers in the city, but US Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't. So you can video chat at your secret fishing spot or stream way out here. Because US Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. US Cellular, a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Visit Real Wireless, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent in Ahoskie, Williamston, and Windsor for the best deals in wireless and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
My prescription refills.
My son's shot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents' care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
Come out to the 2016 Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair at the Pitt County Fairgrounds from September 20th through the 25th. Join us for exciting games, rides, food, plus exhibits with livestock, produce, crafts, and so much more. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit us online at www.pittfair.org. We'll see you at the Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair from September 20th through the 25th.
There's a new car dealership in Washington, and you've got to see the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram located on Highway 264. I'm Matthew Sessoms, General Manager at the new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're proud to provide Eastern North Carolina with a state-of-the-art facility, a huge selection of new cars and trucks, and a reliable service department. For the best selection and service, stop in to see us for Ram Power Days at the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Highway 264 and visit WashingtonChrysler.com.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he swished that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
$159 a month for new Corollas. It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Drive new Corollas only $159 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our
Welcome
volume saves
into
you
Talk
money.
of the Town with Henry Hinton.
Everyone, why are we all standing around? Let's go.
News, weather, sports, and of course, all the local info you need to start your day.
You read my news.
This is Talk of the Town with Henry Hinton.
Please tell me this is some kind of sick, tasteless joke.
On 103.7 WTIB, 94.1 WNBU, Cable 7 in Greenville, and now listen or watch live at WTIBFM.com. Now here's your host for Talk of the Town.
I thought you were kidding!
Henry Hinton.
Okay, welcome back. Talk of the Town here, second hour on Thursday morning. We got a great guest coming up. We'll tell you about that in a minute. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to play Genius Quiz. We got on a roll talking about Charlotte last hour, and we didn't have a chance to do our Genius Quiz like we normally do on Thursday mornings in the 7 o'clock hour, so we'll do it this hour. So stand by for that. I'm still getting a lot of I'm getting so much email and social media contact this morning about Charlotte and our conversations about Hillary Clinton's comments yesterday and that kind of thing. I can't read them all. And by the way, if you send us something, I just got a couple of novels that people say. I can't read that when I'm on the air. If you want us to read your comment on the air, you got to keep it short. Denise just sent me this. We were talking about, someone said, I believe it was our caller from Grifton, Katie, who said, we need to follow the money and find out who's funding the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Denise says, I read an article a month ago that George Soros was financially backing Black Lives Matter. I consider them domestic terrorists. My thoughts would be better to keep myself on how that should be handled. I'll say this, fear is a great motivator. I'm proud of Pat McCrory calling in the National Guard. I don't think the governor had any choice. He had to call in the National Guard. Speaking of the governor, we didn't have a chance to talk about this yesterday. New polls out. 3 polls out yesterday in the last couple of days. Fox News poll now has Pat McCrory up on Roy Cooper, 46 to 43. That is a 3-point lead. The Elon University poll earlier this week, we mentioned this one on Monday, has McCrory up 3 points, 49-46. And the Civitas poll that was released yesterday showed McCrory up 45-43. So all the polls trending in, and I just got to think that, what's happening right now is not going to hurt him in any way. We'll see. Here's the big news. The Fox News poll released yesterday on the Richard Burr, Deborah Ross race. Richard Burr has now opened up a 6-point lead. Did you see that?
Gotta go.
Richard Burr, 43%. Deborah Ross, 37%. And by the way, that lead has widened since she's had that silly add-on about portraying Richard Burr as the fat cat. I mean, if you knew, anybody knows anything about Richard Burr, he's one of the hardest working people in Congress. I promise you that. And, he's not a fat cat sitting around like that ad portrays him to be. And whew, she's something. An interesting article in this morning's Charlotte Observer. Someone in Charlotte sent this to me from the Charlotte Observer website last night. Did you see what Ron Rivera said yesterday?
Yeah.
So Carolina Panthers coach Ron Rivera was asked in the locker room about the police shooting in Charlotte, and the article starts off, this is an article in the Charlotte Observer this morning. It says, Carolina Panthers coach Ron Rivera says he thinks it's unfair that his players are dragged into the race and politics Wednesday by reporters asking for their reactions to Tuesday's officer-involved shooting. But Rivera jumped into the conversation himself by saying the violence, destruction, and looting following the killing of Keith Lamont Scott were not the right way to protest. And pretty profound stuff from Rivera. 8 years ago, this country did something nobody ever thought we would do. We elected an African-American president. Why do we do that? Because people got up and voted. There was a movement. We changed things. This country changed things because that's what happened. So maybe instead of tearing up your own city, maybe instead of doing things the wrong way, we do it the right way. This is a democratic society. Like I said, vote. It's the most powerful thing we have. That's what the men and women of our armed forces fought for, these rights. But here is the most profound thing that Coach Rivera said. He came out and slammed the mayor of Charlotte and the city council for not working with the governor on the HB2 thing earlier this week. Rivera also was critical of partisan politics and alluded to the latest chapter in the HB2 controversy, with Charlotte Mayor Jennifer Roberts saying the city would not repeal the anti-discrimination ordinance that led to HB2. There needs to be some conversation. But the people that should be conversing about it aren't, are they? Have they reached across party lines? Have they reached across the Senate and House and talked about it? Have you heard anything coming from them? No, we haven't, have we, Rivera said. The governor's trying to get something changed and the city won't talk to him. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. Good for you, Ron Rivera. Hey, he's telling it like it is. And again, how much news coverage have we heard? WBTV, we mentioned earlier this morning, they did a great job of getting the photograph of the gun yesterday that was not a book. There was a gun, not a book, in the hand of the guy that the police officer shot. And now if you go to the WBTV.com website, which is the CBS affiliate in Charlotte, you'll see the gun. Again, I don't know why they don't just go ahead and release the tape. Why don't they, Heather?
Got me.
I mean, this is it seems like it would be in everybody's best interest to go ahead and release the tape, especially now that we know that there's a gun. Of course, you know, the Black Lives Matter people will say that the gun was planted, whatever, yada, yada. But WBTV also earlier this week was the only outlet that I saw report. I didn't see it in the News Observer, didn't see it in any of the other statewide media that reported that some of Roy Cooper's supporters in the legislature, including Representative Becky Carney, were calling city council members in Charlotte to get them to reverse their vote. The TV station in Charlotte said that they had confirmed that there were 7 city council people ready and willing to vote to reverse the ordinance in Charlotte before Roy Cooper's minions got involved, including some of his supporters in the legislature, and called the Charlotte City Council and said, "What are you doing? You can't repeal this. Hey, our strategy's working. We got to keep this going. If you guys take this away, we got no campaign." And by the way, that's the truth. What are they going to campaign on if they don't have this? And here, yeah, I think it's all. I've been saying this now ever since this came up Monday. I think it's going to backfire on Roy Cooper. And here we see, you know, somebody said something when I read a poll that came out last week with McCrory leading. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, but that was before the whole Charlotte thing. That was before the NCAA. That was before the ACC." These polls were taken this week. McCrory with a 3-point lead in 2 of the polls that were released, a 2-point lead in the other. Now, you know, if you're Roy Cooper, where do you go from here? I mean, you've thrown everything at him that you can come up with. I don't know. And by the way, one last thing, and then we'll move on because we got to do the Genius Quiz. See if I can find this. The Crime Lab ad that's running, Roy Cooper's running right now with the local young lady who's talking about, which I still find interesting that, you know, Roy Cooper's using a family that's been in pain from a murder in their family to further his campaign, and the message that they're giving is that the governor shouldn't use these families. Again, it's going to backfire. And the idea that the crime lab was fixed under Roy Cooper, new study out showing that North Carolina's crime lab, along with a lot of other crime labs across the country, woefully inadequate. This came from the federal government, by the way. A spokesman for the Attorney General, this is the Roy Cooper, says that the average turnaround time to test evidence in a case is now merely 7.5 months. 7.5 months, which includes all crimes from simple impaired driving to complex homicide cases. And the crime labs are fixed? 7.5 months to get DNA tested? I mean, this is why it takes so long to get, you know, you wonder why we hear Heather report these crimes on the news and then we don't hear about the trial until a year and a half later. This is why. The crime lab takes 7.5 months on average to do anything. Marilyn Avila, a legislator, came out yesterday, said a recent story in the News Observer illustrated other problems that described an accreditation agency report from 2010 that found problems with the way the ballistics lab was documenting its work. She said that was a serious lapse in scientific protocol. And there's always the possibility of appeal and retrial. She said, without written or photographic or audio documentation, you're at the mercy of faulty memory and missing deceased and analyst. You're shortchanging the system by not having documentation trails that you can follow. So, you know, next time you see the ad where the young lady's on there saying, Roy Cooper fixed the crime lab. 7.5 months to get something through the crime lab to solve a murder? That's fixed? We're going to accept that? Wow. Anyway, 19 after 8 o'clock. Heather is going to do the news. Good morning, Heather. I didn't even say good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good coverage this morning on the floods, by the way. We got these flood waters
Yeah, just got off the phone with the mayor of Windsor, actually, who says the water is still rising in downtown Windsor. I mean, the National Weather Service has been reporting that it crested overnight, which would indicate that the water has stopped rising, but indeed in downtown, it could still go up for the next until tonight.
That's not good.
So, no, actually, it's quite very ungood, to use a word that doesn't exist. But there's
So are they evacuating people out of downtown Windsor?
No, I mean they rescued one woman from her home because, in the words of the police chief, she felt panicked and nervous that the water was coming up so quickly. So they haven't started moving people out. But there's water in a lot of businesses, and the mayor told me this morning if they get another 12 to 18 inches in downtown Windsor, it will be considered a catastrophic flood.
Well, I tell you what, that's not good to hear.
No.
You know, Edenton had problems yesterday.
And they still have problems today.
I called my mom. I was working and busy all day, and Matt Engelbrecht texted me yesterday and said, "You better check on your mom." I'm like, "Wow, what's going on? What's going on?" He said Edenton is having real problems.
Yes.
So I called her immediately, and she had a doctor's appointment, and she got. She was a couple of miles outside of town and was driving in, and they had the roads barricaded. She had to turn around and come home.
Yeah. Does she have water? A lot of people don't have water.
She lives north of Edenton.
Okay.
But a lot of the problems were north of Edenton, just off the Chowan River. You know, we saw that some of the problems up in the Rocky Hawk area yesterday, Tenchtown Road, which I'm very familiar with. But the road just collapsed.
Yes. Yes.
Scary stuff. Luckily, no one was hurt. Brad Durrett, who was on yesterday talking about the Fall Aviation Day and fly-in for Saturday, has sent me a text that regretfully that the aviation group is having to cancel the event Saturday.
Oh, you're kidding.
Says the weather looks great for Saturday, but recent forecasted rain could result in damage to the airport with a high volume of traffic, both from automobiles and airplanes. That's a grass field.
Yep.
And I imagine that field is not going to be in any shape to handle all those airplanes at one time.
Yeah, well, that's awful.
So they're having to cancel the it happened last year, too, by the way. Second year in a row they've had to cancel this event. The group is the EAA 960. So the Fall Aviation Day and fly-in for Saturday in Farmville canceled. Sorry about that. But the Pitt County Fair opens today at 3.
Get out and support it.
Go out and support the Pitt County Fair. Get out there and spend some money. So tell you, all those guys, you got to feel for Kenneth Ross and Phyllis Ross. They do an unbelievable job. It's the biggest fair east of Raleigh. I was out there Monday night. It looks great, but you can't do, Mother Nature's got her own plans, and the first couple of nights have been rainouts. They had to shut it down last night. But they open today at 3 o'clock. So get out and support the Pitt County Fair today. All right, 22 after 8. We're going to take a break. We're going to get news headlines in. Then we're going to play Genius Quiz. So stand by. Your chance to win a great prize pack this morning. We've got a $25 gift card to Rucker John's. We got a $20 gift card to Dairy Queen. We got a $25 gift card to Classic Seafood in Aden. And also, I'll throw in a oil change for your vehicle from Dave Davis. Stay with us. We're going to play Genius Quiz in just a couple of minutes.
It's a great time to be here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Come celebrate this fall with the new Jeep. Jeep is America's hottest brand. Come check out the largest selection in Eastern North Carolina. It's the Jeep Celebration event. Buy now and get 20% off MSRP on a new Jeep Cherokee. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
To see the huge inventory online, visit ecauto.com.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he swished that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
Every wireless provider has towers in the city, but US Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't. So you can video chat at your secret fishing spot or stream way out here. Because US Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. US Cellular, a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Visit Real Wireless, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent in Ahoskie, Williamston, and Windsor for the best deals in wireless and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
Been thinking about buying a new truck this year? It's the Ram Power Days here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. You got to come see our selection of Ram trucks. We've got over 100 in stock, the absolute best selection in Eastern North Carolina. Buy a new Ram now and get 20% off MSRP. Better hurry. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Can I see it?
Across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
To see the huge inventory online, visit ecauto.com.
My prescription refills.
My sunshot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents care.
My chart.
Vidant MyChart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and workweek daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
News headlines right now at 26 after 8 o'clock from WITN. Heather King is here. Stand by. We're going to have a great guest in a couple of minutes. One of the national folks from the cancer support community is in Eastern North Carolina today, Jay Lockaby. We're going to meet Jay in a few minutes. And then we're going to play Genius Quiz and give you a chance to win that great prize package. So stand by. But first to the news desk right now, Heather King is here from WITN. Good morning, Heather.
Hi, good morning, Henry. Good morning, everyone. We're getting updates from Windsor and Bertie County this morning as that part of Eastern Carolina experiences major flooding right now. Mayor Hoggard of Windsor telling me on the phone this morning that the water is still rising in downtown Windsor. Police Chief James Lane said this morning that about a 10-block area of Windsor was already underwater. There is water in some businesses, and he's encouraging people not to come sightsee around the downtown areas because just being in the water will push more water inside of the businesses and buildings in the downtown area. The Kashai River did crest, according to the National Weather Service, at about 14.5 feet early this morning, and it's expected to stay above flood stage until tomorrow afternoon. But the mayor says the water in the downtown area will continue to rise until at least tonight. One person was escorted from her home early this morning by fire officials. The police chief saying that she felt nervous after water started rising quickly around her home. According to the Department of Transportation, US 17 north of Windsor is shut down in both directions. Parts of Highway 45 and 42 are closed, along with other local roads. You can find the latest updates on that at WITN.com. Downtown Charlotte in cleanup mode this morning after a peaceful prayer vigil turned into a violent protest after the fatal police shooting of a black man earlier this week. Hotel and restaurant employees, along with security guards, are on the streets this morning cleaning up dozens of broken windows. Bank of America told its thousands of employees at its 60-story downtown skyscraper to stay home today. One man was critically injured in Wednesday's protest. City officials say police did not fire on that person. Several reporters and people on the street were attacked as police in riot gear linked arms and marched down the streets, firing tear gas. 4 police officers were injured last night. Governor Pat McCrory has declared a state of emergency and is promising to bring in the National Guard. 4 juveniles escaped from their facility in the east overnight. Authorities say they got out after assaulting a staffer at the facility in Rocky Mount. The Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice says Dakota from Guilford County, Joshua from Wake County, Justin from Carteret County, and Juan of New Hanover County all escaped around 9:30 last night after assaulting a staff member at the Edgecombe Youth Development Center in Rocky Mount. Officials say they have a high concern of safety for both the juveniles and the public due to unpredictable behavior. You can see their pictures of the escapees at WITN.com. A 5th day of testimony ahead today as prosecutors continue presenting their case in the Willie Whitehead Jr. murder trial, the second suspect to go on trial for the triple murder at the Farmville Hustle Mart back in 2012. His girlfriend at the time, Ashley Johnson, testified that she had admitted to helping him buy ammunition, but said she had no idea where he was the night of the murders at the time. Johnson testified that when she was first interviewed by police, she lied and told them she was with Whitehead on the night of April 1st. She said she lied because Whitehead told her to and was scared after now convicted killer Anton Anthony made threats. That trial continues today in Pitt County with more of the state's evidence being presented. Those are your WITN News headlines. Henry, back to you.
Thank you, Heather. As is often the case, I'm hearing from police officers this morning. A lot of times police officers will contact me. We're talking about these issues. I have an interesting text here from a police officer who said, please don't use my name, so I won't. He says, but listen to this. He says, I had a guy pull a gun on me recently during a traffic stop, and I had a body cam on the camera. This is his explanation for why maybe Charlotte did not release the body cam video right away. Apparently, as we understand it, the police officer who that fired the shot was not wearing body camera.
Correct.
But someone with him was. So the question is whether or not they actually have a video. They have video of the shooting. This police officer says had a gun pulled a gun on me during a traffic stop. I had my body camera on, but all the camera saw was the back seat of the car. You can clearly hear me on the tape giving commands for him to drop the gun. Maybe Charlotte has the same problem where the video doesn't actually show it, but that's a good point. But let's say that it doesn't, but you can probably hear the police officer giving him commands to drop the gun. And now we've seen the gun on the WBTV website. So the other thing that happened during the news there, you were talking about Windsor, and my son Hank texted me a picture John Powell just sent him. Can't see this, from Windsor, Bertie County Peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, man, the front of their building is underwater. I've been in that building many times. And it's got a raised entrance to it so that you walk up steps to go in. Look at where the water is up over the entrance.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's not good. Windsor's got some problems, folks. And more rain coming. I hate to hear that. So God bless Jimmy Hoggard, the mayor up there, and all the folks in Windsor this morning. I hope everybody's okay. Take care of yourselves. Here's McGee now with our weather update. And McGee, unfortunately, there's more rain coming, right?
Yeah, 60% chance of rain coming today with a high of 82 degrees. That rain chance continues into tonight, about a 40% chance, hopefully tapering off at some point later on tonight into tomorrow with a high of 82 degrees. Lows tomorrow night in the upper 60s. And for your Saturday, no rain in sight, which is a good thing, with a high of 84 degrees and lows in the mid-60s.
All right, still to come this hour. Stand by just a few minutes. We're going to play Genius Quiz, give you a chance to win a gift card from Rucker John's, Classic Seafood, Dairy Queen, and an oil change from Dave Davis's East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 8:32 right now. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town.
Brand new Camry SEs, $199 a month during Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here and the 16s must go. Camry SEs only $199 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Every wireless provider has towers in the city, but US Cellular put towers in places the other guys didn't. So you can video chat at your secret fishing spot or stream way out here. Because US Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. US Cellular, a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Visit Real Wireless, your local US Cellular authorized agent in Ahoskie, Williamston, and Windsor for the best deals in wireless and great service on a network that works in the middle of anywhere.
My prescription refills.
My son shot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.
Vidant MyChart is the secure online patient portal that lets you manage your health your way. Visit VidantMyChart.com or call 1-855-MyVidant to learn how you can sign up.
Come out to the 2016 Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair at the Pitt County Fairgrounds from September 20th through the 25th. Join us for exciting games, rides, food, plus exhibits with livestock, produce, crafts, and so much more. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit us online at www.pittfair.org. We'll see you at the Pitt County American Legion Agricultural Fair from September 20th through the 25th.
There's a new car dealership in Washington, and you've got to see the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram located on Highway 264. I'm Matthew Sessoms, General Manager at the new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're proud to provide Eastern North Carolina with a state-of-the-art facility, a huge selection of new cars and trucks, and a reliable service department. For the best selection and service, stop in to see us for Ram Power Days at the all-new Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Highway 264 and visit WashingtonChrysler.com.
That's a tough shot.
You're right. Can't bear to look. This must be what Luke Kuechly feels like when he takes the field.
Man, this is what Kevin must have felt like when he swished that game winner.
Look for limited edition Pepsi Panthers cans and packaging in stores now. Pepsi, official soft drink of the Carolina Panthers.
$159 a month for new Corollas. It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here, and the 16s must go. Drive new Corollas only $159 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
8:35 coming up. Genius Quiz. Stand by. Your chance to win coming up on Talk of the Town here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, got a great guest in the studio. We are pleased to be joined by Jay Lockaby, who is the Senior Vice President of Affiliate Relations and Strategic Growth at the international headquarters of the Cancer Support Community. He is in town for a couple of days, or he has been.
Yes,
Is
sir.
today your last day?
I'm headed to the airport after this.
Now, where are you headquartered, Jay?
We are out of Washington, D.C. We
Okay.
have offices in Philadelphia and New York as well.
All right, tell us what the cancer support. You have a huge group of cancer survivors in this area, and of course, Vidant Medical is building that huge new cancer center here in Greenville, which I'm very excited about, and I think we all should be, for cancer treatment and research here in Greenville. So tell us what your group does, the Cancer Support Community.
Yes, the Cancer Support Community is an international nonprofit organization. We have affiliates all over the U.S., a couple in Canada, and one in Tel Aviv, Israel, and one in Tokyo, Japan. So that's the international part. And the organization's mission is to ensure that all people impacted by cancer are empowered by knowledge, strengthened by action, and sustained by community. We provide services in our affiliate locations, which is what we're doing here in Greenville, North Carolina. We're trying to have a new affiliate here, and once they're up and running, they will do a whole array of programming that supports people affected by cancer. So patients, caregivers, loved ones. They'll do educational workshops, support groups, networking groups, exercise classes, yoga, tai chi, things like that. All designed to help people affected by cancer. It's designed for those folks.
So that's what you're doing in Greenville. You're setting up
here to help,
a new operation here.
Right, and we've got some great community folks, Elizabeth Gaylord and
Who's in
Betty
our
Greer,
lobby.
and Dr. Mary Robb, who's
my neighbor.
helping great. So we got the right folks working on it.
Mary Robb changed cancer treatment in Greenville forever.
She's a gem.
There wasn't much cancer treatment going on here before Dr. Robb came to Greenville.
Wow.
She's a pioneer for sure.
I hear that universally. So
and a great human being, by the way.
Really
She and her husband both.
Yeah,
but anyway,
she truly is. So we want to bring that here. The vision is that no one has to face cancer alone. We like to provide services so that people feel they have less anxiety, they feel less alone, they're more informed about their treatment and what's happening. They make social connections that help them get through the process. We have a research institute in Philadelphia, I mentioned, that provides evidence for the program. So we know we're not just kind of shooting in the dark. We're making sure that everything we do has some evidence that it works and has an outcome to either reduce anxiety or improve treatment adherence and reduce distress and things like that. We know that people are more compliant with their treatment plans. They have better clinical outcomes, better quality of life. Things like that, and we're facing. It's great that Greenville's working on this because the boomers are hitting the age where they're going to be diagnosed with. So the numbers are going to balloon, and we need to be ready. And Greenville will be.
Yeah, and so that's great news. Now, is the Cancer Support Community going to actually have a office here and a headquarters here of some sort?
That's a great question. We think so. There's a couple different ways to do it. We did have a great meeting with Vidant yesterday. They've been very supportive. So there's a couple different, we can do it with we typically, yes, we would have a home-like setting. It could even be a house. It's usually zoned for like a community service area, but it can be a house. It can be a strip mall setting kind of thing like that even. So there's a variety of different ways you can do the building, but inside it's a home-like setting. You have a support group room, you have an exercise room, you have a lecture room, things like that. So it's a place, that's one of the reasons community is a part of our name, is we try to make a community of support to where people can, they all come to the same place to get all the services and connect with one another.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a great new opportunity for cancer patients and cancer survivors in Eastern North Carolina. You just don't know anybody these days that hasn't been touched by cancer in their family. Mine was recently again.
Sorry.
So it's a great service I think that you're offering. So thank you for what you're doing here. I hope this thing gets off the ground and really work. What can people do to help?
Well, a couple things. The organization, we're having a fundraiser. Excuse me, not a fundraiser. They are having a fundraiser, but what I wanted to mention was there's a Frankly Speaking About Cancer. The Frankly Speaking About series, Frankly Speaking About Cancer series is something that we produced at headquarters for all our affiliates for a couple decades now, close to. And they're doing one on treatment and side effects. So Frankly Speaking About Cancer treatment and its side effects. It's hosted by help me with this, Koinonia Christian Church.
Yeah, Koinonia, right.
It's at Koinonia Christian Church, Tuesday, September 27th, so next week, 6 to 8 p.m. And if they want to register, they can call 252-493-6493, 252-493-6493. Open to the public. It's free of charge. And like all our programs, it's facilitated, hosted by a professional, Dr. Paul Gibbs, who's an oncology pharmacist supervisor with Vidant. So he'll be giving a talk on the side effects of various treatments out there and how to manage them. So open to patients, caregivers, loved ones, anybody. So they want to see a big turnout for that.
And that is what day again?
That's next week, Tuesday, September 27th.
Right.
Again, free of charge, 6 to 8 p.m.
At
Koinonia Christian Church. The other thing is, to open, like they're in the stages of opening, and we at the national organization help them through that process. But one of the things is we want to make sure they have enough money in the bank to open and fund the services, because they're all free of charge to anyone affected by cancer.
Right.
So we need to raise money.
How's it funded other than donations? Do you have any grants or
No.
anything?
Well, they'll get grants from time to time, but it's primarily philanthropy, private donations. They'll do some fundraising events. Like I've learned y'all do a great job with fundraising in this town and do a lot of fundraising events.
There's a lot of them.
Like that. Yeah. So they'll be doing those, and they'll be doing individual individual gift fundraising with donors in town, major gifts and things like that. So that's how they do it. Yeah, we don't charge anything to the people that we serve, and we don't get any government fees or anything like that. It's all private philanthropy and an occasional grant here and there.
Well, thanks for sharing it with us, and thanks for being in Greenville.
I
hope this is an exciting
great community.
New opportunity for cancer treatment. Actually, not treatment, but support of cancer treatment.
Exactly, you got it.
And you got some great local people involved. Elizabeth Gaylord is one of the best, so
she's terrific.
You'll do well.
And
here.
her husband.
Yeah, absolutely. Mott's great. Mott's great. All right, listen.
Fabulous.
Thank you
for having us on.
Stopping by. I know you got a plane to catch.
Yes, sir.
So I'll let you go. Thank you for being here, Jay Lockaby from the international headquarters of the Cancer Support Community. And they're trying to get it off the ground here in Greenville. All right, let's take a break and come back. We got sports, and then we're going to play Genius Quiz, and your chance to win that great prize package coming up. We'll be right back.
Brand new Camry SEs, $199 a month during Greenville Toyota's model year-end savings event. The 2017s are here, and the 16s must go. Camry SEs only $199 a month. Plus, get our advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
My prescription refills.
My sunshot records.
My doctor's appointments.
My lab results.
My parents care.
My chart.
Vidant My Chart.